Salam Mohamed. Numéro 10, Choua Mohamed. Numéro 11, Benjilka Jihad. Numéro 12, Wilkins John Walter. Numéro 13, El Maksoud Adil. Numéro 14, Nadine Safian. Numéro 15, Ralimi Reda. Le nom de l'entraîneur, Saïd El Bouzidi et Labib El Armani. Angola team. Number 2, Moreira Yannick. Number 3, Gonçalves Gerson. Number 4, Cipriano Olimpio. Number 5, Costa Armando. Number 6, Moraes Carlos. Number 7, Fortes Roberto. Number 9, Paulo Leonel. Number 12, Ambrosio Feliciano. Number 15, Mingas Eduardo. Number 22, Sousa Silvio. Number 23, Maureen Reggie. Number 37, Concepcion Jacques. Name of the coach, Manuel da Fernando da Silva. Miguel Puentos Lutonda. Les noms des arbitres, name of the referees, Fabricio Vito from Argentina, Figadou from Ethiopia, and Yusuf Maiga from Mali. Commissaire du match, Hannibal Manavé de la Mozambique. On passe tout de suite à l'hymne national des deux équipes. Tout le monde debout. Le Maroc, s'il vous plaît. National du Maroc. On passe à l'Angola. Tout le monde, s'il vous plaît. Merci. FIBA AfroBasket 2017. Maroc, Angola,
guys in this tournament, but my goodness, is he tough. He took a beating from the Central African front court in that game yesterday, but just kept bouncing right back, finishing at the rim. Not even really, even when players were getting in his face, trying to intimidate him, he wasn't saying a word, just kept playing the game.
Moras is Cipriano coming off the screen. And foul call. I think it's Choa. It is. Well, it's a fairly tame start to the game here, isn't it? Only 7 points in the first 5 minutes after the fireworks of earlier on. This one, a slow burn at the moment.
It's really just a testament to the style of play from these teams, though. You're not going to see as many flashy dunks from either one of them, but they know how to put the ball in the hoop.
More can't do just that. Choa on the trail. He does score. Morocco have a 7-point lead, 8 points to 1.
Something we're seeing here as well. Angola really electing to try and go with a half-court offense, but Morocco not wasting any time, just finding the open man and getting the floaters, getting the jump shots. Moving with a little bit more purpose right now, it would seem.
Moras steps back. 6 minutes into the game, Angola have their first field goal.
Unbelievable. But of course, it's going to come from Moras. He is the floor general here, but he's showing off his offensive capabilities as well.
Nice pass, good catch. Not great finish though from Choa. He did everything right except put it in the hole.
It sounds like a running theme here in the AfroBasket in Dakar right now. But most teams, they're going to figure it out.
Driving hard under all sorts of pressure is Wilkins. He falls to the ground, but no whistle coming his way. Moras uses his body, but even better than that, Ritchie with the block.
Moras saying he got hit in the head there, and the referee just says play on. Look at this take here. Looks like it got him, but also if you want to take a look as well, Ritchie showing off that athleticism of his. He's giving up just a couple pounds to Moras, but he's not giving up any leaping ability whatsoever.
He's off the court there, pressuring the ball. Cipriano moves it cross court. A nice little stop and go, up off the glass from Conceição. He can't convert, but it comes all the way out to Olympio Cipriano, knocks down the three.
Cipriano, right place, right time. Didn't see anyone around him and just thought, well, nothing else is working.
Well, for as poorly as they've been offensively, that'll be a travel. Angola, and they've only made 2 field goals. They have a chance to tie the game here. Conceição doing a good job slowing him down on that Yoris step, which usually results in a travel, and it did there. Cipriano from miles out, and well, I'll let the pitchers describe that one.
I mean, there is, you know, you've heard of course of heat checks, but I don't know if that's is that really a heat check if you've only made one?
Yeah, true. Khalifi brings it forward. Moore doing a good job defensively against Kuradu.
Absolutely.
And Conceição coming up with the steal. Here's Moras in the open court. Dumps it off, and just falling away. He had enough to get it over the ring there, Ambrosio. The long pass down to Kuradu. He's trying to find some way in, and there isn't really one. And
Kuradu's actually going to pick up the foul there, as you know, Kuradu understanding as he's trying to get helped up by the Angolan defense there. We just see this, just a little bit of space is all he needs. Good job by Moore there, creating some separation, as there's going to be now a timeout.
1:55 to go here in the opening quarter. We're tied at 8 points apiece. international basketball going on around the world as we speak, although this is the last game of the day. They finished earlier in Istanbul and in Tunisia, in EuroBasket, and the other pools here in AfroBasket. We've seen the America Cup won by the Americans a few weeks ago as well. And we've seen AfroBasket women won by Angola a couple of weeks ago as well. It's a jam-packed summer of international basketball.
That's for sure. And the Senegalese men, after today's game, have made a case for making it 2 for 2 in AfroBasket this year in the men and women.
Here we go then. Just a light jog over the halfway line for Cipriano, and now he turns the pace up a bit. Gets it back to Moras.
Cipriano did not like that shot, even though he's wide open.
Down to 4 on the shot clock. He gets it off in time. It's short. Good attempt at the rebound there from Ambrosio, but knocked out of bounds, so he'll get an end line possession for his team.
Second life.
Cipriano likes that open shot. Koshishar with the rebound, and the foul by Wilkins as he caught him.
And sometimes, you know, a lot of people will try and make the case that half-court basketball is the quote-unquote proper way to play, but sometimes the downside to constantly having to run schemes to get open looks all the time, it can kind of work you into a point where you're more obsessed with passing the ball than you are with actually scoring. And I think that's kind of what we're seeing from Angola right now. Now, mind you, obviously they've tied up the game here, and they've managed to kind of halt Morocco's run that they had at the beginning here. Since Morocco was up 6-1, ever since then they've made now an 8-2 run. But you're just not seeing any of those shots really falling at this point.
Wow, 18 points in the best part of the quarter. It's the lowest scoring one we've seen so far in these two groups here in Senegal.
Which is surprising considering they're two of the more talented groups.
Yeah, it's amazing, really. And, well, we still can't add to it. Moras gets the rebound. Ambrosio's shot doesn't go. It's missed time by Sure, but he does beat it to the sideline and keeps it in.
I think Morozio actually he underestimated Relimi's ability to close out there.
Relimi at the other end, and Wilkins takes the three. It doesn't go. Last touch by Conchachal, so it'll be a end-line ball for Morocco. Look at this hustle.
Yep.
Oh, right into the bench as well. Good assist from Najjar.
He's doing everything today for the Moroccans. But if you're the Moroccans, you have to be pleased at this point. You know, you might be facing an angry Angolan team, but instead you're facing a team that's really just trying to play its game offensively and get a feel for this tournament.
That's overcooked. It didn't hit the ring, so there's no reset of the shot clock. They've got to go quick, and there's a foul, I think, on Conchachal.
Yep.
And with 18 seconds to go, 18 and a half to be precise, it'll be an end-line ball to Morocco, who started out as the only team who could score, and unless they get a basket here, won't even get to double figures in the period.
Just to finish the thought, though, real quickly, is though you have a number of your starters sitting on the bench for the last 2 minutes.
Alifi moves it on. The three is overcooked. Cipriano looks at the clock. There's 5 seconds left. Cipriano pulls up for three off the back of the ring. Wow, there wasn't much in that quarter. Just 18 points on the board. Both teams struggling to score here at the start of this game. It's Morocco 8, Angola 10. We played 10 minutes here in Dakar. Well, there'll be plenty of excitement in Spain next September, a year from now, for the Women's World Cup. And unsurprisingly, when you see 8 points to 10, the shooting numbers are not great. Combined 1 of 13 from the three-point line for these two teams. So this highlight package probably includes every field goal we've seen in the first quarter. They've been few and far between.
They have. But I must say, though, to the Moroccans' credit here, they have to feel a little bit good about themselves, despite the fact that they gave up a lead that they have. They know who they're up against, and they know this is going to be a long game. When you add in that as well, you also have to remember that they were able to sit out a number of their starters for about half of that quarter, and all they did was give up a 2-point deficit as a result of it. And we looked at Najah, who's responsible for half of the scoring for Morocco right now. He was only on for about 3 minutes in that first quarter. So if you're the coaching staff of Morocco, you could sit here and say, well, we gave up the lead, but if we just keep our pace and keep our bigs, and just the fact that our bench is coming in and doing a pretty solid job of holding down this Angolan offense, an Angolan offense, mind you, that's really just elected to just strictly run in half-court offense. If the Moroccans can just keep hanging tough here, they might be able to pull off another upset, and Angola might have to pick up the pace a little bit here.
Second quarter underway. Coach Thao calls the play. Looks like he's flattened it out to go himself as now the screen comes up from Mingas.
He had him beat too on the spin.
Well, he had him beat on the step as well, and he'll go to the line, shoot a couple.
Once again, we're just seeing, it just almost looks like Angola's holding back a little bit, wouldn't you say, Dan? Because like that decision right there, if we're looking at Conceição, really, when he had the defender beat off the spin, he still elected to bring it back, kill him a few more seconds off of the shot clock, use the screen, still had him beat again, as you said, and still wasn't able to finish at the line because he did get hacked a little bit, but that's the kind of layup you almost expect him to finish.
Well, they just haven't really clicked here, have they? I mean, they played well in the third quarter yesterday, and then down the stretch and in overtime they managed to pull it out, but they've, like you said at the top of the show, you expect a response, you expect them to come out and put down a marker, but they haven't done anything of the sort here through the opening 11 minutes or so.
They don't look like 11-time champs right now, but that can change.
Cipriano moves it across, and it's a little traveling violation there.
Just a little fidget of the feet.
For Minga, so he wasn't convinced whether he should shoot the ball or not.
That's another thing to also keep in mind, though, as well. Angola, this is the second game in a row now where they've had to play at 9 o'clock at night. So you've been sitting through the day all day. Who knows where you... Now, you hope you're staying in an air-conditioned room most of the time. But even the warm-ups here, they had a longer warm-up than most teams have had. The humidity, of course, has been a factor throughout this entire group stage here. That could have a factor more than anything, too.
Little baby hook there inside from Reda Lima. Cortez tossed it in to Moore. Not seen much of him so far today. Maybe this. He takes it inside. He takes it strong. He draws the contact, and he'll go to the line for a bonus.
And that's the more we've come to know and love in this tournament, especially in that. Look at that. Just great head fake, pump fake. Just absolute textbook finish. By the time he gets ahead of steam, I mean, you almost have to tackle him to prevent him from scoring.
misses the three-point play opportunity. Wilkins with the rebound.
And that's actually a rare free throw miss for him. He was very consistent against Uganda yesterday.
Khalifi picks the ball up. Oh, it's a bit too high and over the head of El Musbi. Bahi. Conceição calls the play. Fist in the air.
Here's Angola looking like to turn up the pressure a little bit here.
Plenty of time. Probably didn't need the dribble. And they don't get the rebound either. It came off Mingus last.
Now, I know it's kind of hard to see sometimes on the monitor or on your screen at home, but if you take a look at Moore's feet on that shot there, the feet were just a little bit kind of separated, pointing outwards. And sometimes you'd be surprised how much of an effect that can have on your release if you're not consistent with your footwork and you're letting those kind of shots go.
Inside to Najjar. Wilkins with the jump shot, doesn't go.
I'll be honest, if I'm Morocco right now, I'm trying to set up a pick and pop here for Najjar. He's proven that he can knock down those jumpers, and although it will be an interesting matchup now that Moore's on the floor with him, because some of the bigger Angolan forwards were letting him just let it go. Moore's not that kind of player.
Conceição beats his man and slows down. It's Cipriano. Conceição gets open, but he goes behind the back to Mingus, who backs down, spins. Tough shot, good defense in the end.
Dare I say that behind the back pass, I think, is the most exciting thing we've seen in this game so far.
Well, neither team able to kick into life offensively. They kind of want that the other way around. I know they get a foul for El Musbi in the post, but they kind of want Najjar down there and El Musbi throwing it into him.
Conceição a little dumbfounded there. Goes, if he's fading away and I'm standing still, where's the foul? But
here's Najjar. Wilkins takes the three-point shot. And it bobbles out of bounds. Last touch by El Maksoud. And Wilkins is going to sit down. They keep changing the balls at the moment. And they inbounded the ball, and there's still one of the floor wipers on there, trying to get the perspiration up off the floor.
Yeah, that sums this game up perfectly so far. A lot of stops in play. Here comes the talking. Yep. And you can see there, number 37, Conceição, talked to him just a little bit, and it looked like it got a little bit physical there. Almost got in his head a little bit, it almost seemed.
Well, I'm not sure what Safan Nadim is doing there, because you're fouling a guy 70 feet from the basket. What's he going to do? It's just a needless foul.
Yep. Sometimes you got to just let your opponents talk. You're not gaining anything from it, from giving him a shove at this point.
Cortez moves it on to Mingus.
Oh, nice separation there.
Cipriano shot doesn't go. Najjar with the rebound.
Great defense there. Hand in and probably got a piece of it.
Conceição steps, he dumped it back to Morieri, can't convert. Cipriano has a lot of space on the three-point line. He doesn't make it drop. And there's a foul on the shot there, and Yannick Moreira will go to the free throw.
And Yannick talking to himself. He's upset with that one, but to be honest, he's got the length and he's got the athleticism. You sometimes wonder with these bigs that are standing at just over 2 meters, why they don't, especially when they have the length that Morera has, why he doesn't just go up, take the contact, just cram it down. It's not like he's, it's not like he doesn't have some vertical on him.
Well, we saw plenty of that in overtime.
And lo and behold, that's when he started converting the three-point plays and giving Angola the win. I think sometimes, though, you know, you look at a guy like Morera who's spent time in the D-League with the Raptors 905. He's used to going up against guys that are usually his size, and in this tournament, he's not going to face many people like that. And he's been trained to kind of take that contact and kiss it off the glass. But when you're going up against guys that are literally giving up about 20 centimeters in height to you, sometimes it's just better to throw it down forcefully and just get a bit of an attitude going about you and maybe wake up this crowd in your bench a little bit.
Playing in Russia now as well, so there's some big units in that league that he will go head-to-head with as well.
Absolutely, and some bigger paychecks.
And it's tipped out of bounds. And it'll be a possession for Morocco. And Bahi inbounds it nicely, and Najah wakes the scorekeeper up, gives us something to do.
Najah, he's been feasting off of the starting lineup of the Angolan front court. He's got 6 points.
There's a little bump there between Richie and Conchechao. They now give a little slap of five and a handshake as they head off back to the coaches. Only the second time out of the game. Well, we've played almost 15 minutes and we've seen 24 points combined. It's been very low scoring here, unusually so.
Yeah, very much so, Dan. This is just not the kind of game we were expecting, but I think also, you know, you can't ask for 4 incredible back-to-back games like we've seen today on day 2 in AfroBasket here in Dakar, Senegal. I mean, but once again, you've got 2 teams that are looking timid and looking to kind of just feel each other out. If this was a boxing match, then this would be the first 3 or 4 rounds of both fighters just kind of feeling each other out, a couple of grappling, not many haymakers thrown, not many chances taken, because at the end of the day, both of these teams, although it is kind of odd to think that as well when you think that both of these teams have the wins. So, you know, all the more reason, I guess you could say, to try some things out, try a little bit more play free and loose, but I guess the coaching staffs and the players on both of these rosters are going to have none of it. They really want to try and see what they can put together against tough competition. But just what it really just kind of looks like to the fans right now is just a whole lot of hesitation.
Conceição has it for Morocco, for Angola even, and it's almost thrown away. Fortes comes up with it, lets fly the 3, and I think Najah might have got a foul over the back there.
Yep, Najah's going to get called for it.
And I think that's his 3rd personal foul. He's going to dispute it, but the referee's not going to change it. It's not going to come out of the book.
No.
But my mistake, it's his 1st foul.
He has played a pretty disciplined game so far. 6 points, just 1 foul. He's been the reason that Morocco is on the board in the way that they are, although not.
Well, he's the only guy who scored more than once.
Yeah, yeah. And I think actually, yeah, for both teams that are on, out of all players on the floor right now. There's Morera long again. And Yannick Morera, as you said, heading to Russia this year after a successful championship in the D-League. He's got a lot of years ahead of him left in both international and professional basketball.
He breaks the tie. Angola lead 13 points to 12. They come with a bit of full court pressure. Souza up there pressuring the inbound. Look at Najjar running the floor like a point guard. Well, actually he's not.
Proves it there.
Yeah, but he's there at the end to lay it in. And Morocco back in front.
And it's all Najjar right now for Morocco. They got to ride this wave while they can. Keep feeding the big man the ball.
Herrera. Good ball movement, open three.
There we go.
It's Moras in the corner.
He's just taking off some of that tape though. You can see it, he's checking his hand again.
And he seems to do it on every made shot.
Yeah.
Good pass, Najjar's underneath. But too much zip on it. Fortes, nice. Oh, he's good
there
follow from Souza to throw it down.
And Souza waking up the crowd a little,
But
and there's
Najjar's
Najjar.
at the other end. And Conchazao has to foul him. That was a really quick turnaround from the Moroccans.
And Conchazao, he's been getting real physical out there. He's been taking on just about everybody, big and small. Here's Najjar though. A little bit of action now, a little bit of highlight reel finishes. As Najjar makes good on the first one. He's just such a big body though, and a nice smooth touch. You can see why he loves that elbow jumper so much. He's even consistent on his free throws here. But he's just the right height though, Dan, you see, to get that nice little arc going on his release. There's really no weird adjustment he has to try and make with the rim. Unlike someone like Morera, who's standing at 6'11".
Offensive foul called on Souza. Conchazao just sat down, by the way, because he picked up his third foul. There's only been 5 fouls on the game on Angola, but he's got 3 of them.
Some people will call that tough defense. I said tough though, not necessarily smart,
Yeah,
but tough.
And that's too far out of the reach of Wilkins.
Wilkins, another big factor for Morocco in getting that win over a Central African. He knocked down some huge threes near the end there, the American-born Moroccan. But he's no stranger to those kind of games and those kind of moments, and he's no stranger to a team like Angola. And I guess that's kind of a testament to both of these teams. Some very heavy veteran presence here. A lot of these guys have played some very big games. They understand the importance of the system, and maybe that's why it's been such a slow-moving game so far.
Herrera takes it in and dunks it. That looked like a double dribble, and that's certainly what the Moroccans bench is saying. They come back the other way. Wilkins puts the ball on the floor and draws the contact.
That's definitely something that these Moroccans have going for them between Najjar and Wilkins. Those are a couple of really big, wide bodies that aren't afraid to put the ball on the floor and get going. And we just seen Herrera, nice throw down there. Looks like he just kind of put the ball in front of him and saw the. And there's the coach still there at the time going double dribble.
It did look a bit weird. Maybe it wasn't a double dribble, but there was something. Didn't look natural on the eye, put it that way.
Yeah, you could maybe even just chalk it up to the fact that if you ever stood next to Herrera, I mean, this guy is absolutely massive. It's not so much in the width department, but he's so long. It doesn't even look like the ball really hits the floor when he dribbles it. His arms are so low to the ground. Almost looks like he carries it the whole way. But Wilkins is able to make good on one of the free throws as well.
Well, Jihad Benchlicker into the game for the first time. Didn't play yesterday, I don't recall. And a nice pass, and that's a good one. Oh, Souza can't lay it in. I think he was expecting somebody to be there and attack, and there wasn't.
Nope. And when that happens, you got to just go straight up. You got to be aggressive in those situations. And unfortunately, being timid almost never pays off in basketball.
Will that count? Yes, it will. That's a nice finish through the lane from Larici.
Larici, how many times we saw him pull that one off against the CAR. We saw almost the exact same play, only with his right hand. And when you can do both with both hands, I mean, how devastating of a weapon can that be?
Well, plenty of conversation going on there while the free throw is being taken with Najjar very vocal and his coach too. What's happened there?
It looks like someone forgot to reset the shot clock.
The referee's going to check it out as the horn went.
Tie game now.
Well, there's been so few baskets that neither of them can get away.
We did see a little brief period of excitement there, moving up and down the floor with a few dunks and pretty finishes. I know Moroccan coach, he wants his team over for a quick impromptu timeout here.
Well, I can only assume the shot clock has stopped working or something because there's no numbers on it.
Yep. Looks like it just gave out. I can imagine the Moroccan coach now is just telling them, hey, it's time to just start putting the ball in the basket, just play ball, move around, take some chances on some shots, which is something that Morocco has been doing to their credit, just finding the open man. Still kind of waiting to see Angola, I don't know, pick it up a little bit, I guess you could say.
Well, one referee has broken the huddle and run over to the near side as the players take the opportunity to get some liquid on board. And now the clock is on. And they're just going to tick it down to 19. So, all right, fellas, you've had your break. Let's get back out there. Come on.
Yep, well said. You can see just the sweat pouring through the Moroccan jerseys there. I mean, these guys, we're kind of lucky enough we're up here in the booth sitting next to some fans. But when you go down there and you walk around a little bit and you realize just how humid it is down there on the floor.
Well, you wouldn't want to be the kit man having to wash that at the end of the game.
Ooh, definitely not.
For us to inbound is Costa now. Costa trying to get around the screen. Throws it away. And, well, Larici almost lost the ball there. He was so quick, but he did manage to regain it and lay it in.
I think both of these teams are just so sweaty that when that ball hits any part of your body that's not your hand, it just completely slips.
Moreira can't score over Najjar. Both benches want a foul, neither gets it.
Kudos to Moreira, though. Starting to get a little bit more physical, taking chances, going right to the hoop.
His bench looker onto Wilkins with the fall away that falls short.
I'm not going to lie, looking at it even from up here, you're starting to see the ball shine a little bit here. It might have a factor as to why some of these shots are so off.
Well, we get a shot going in, and it's waved off because he stepped out of bounds.
Unbelievable. There's Moraes, and he actually doesn't have a bandage on his hand anymore.
Oh yeah, he's abandoned the tape. This is the one where both players wanted a foul, both benches at least. And Najjar certainly had a word with the official. Bench looker driving through, throws it back. And there's a pushing foul, I think, on Costa.
I think there that was just a situation where Ben Shilka was dropping it back. He was assuming that Najjar, as you see it right there, I think he was assuming Najjar was going to cut around up to the elbow where he's been so deadly from in this game. And instead, Najjar just kind of watched him walk by. But luckily, it was recovered.
And the first free throw is made by Zakira El Masabi, who, like about half his team here, plays for the Saleh team in Morocco. One of the leading lights of North African basketball.
There we go. Not a great place to kill your dribble.
He was in trouble there, but he got out of it. Paolo penetrates.
Yep.
Pass is stolen away though.
Angola just does not look very sharp right now.
No, they don't at all. Richie loses it, and they stumble out of bounds. But again, that was one where it just kind of slipped away from him.
I've said this before, though. I brought this up yesterday. We had a chance to dribble these balls around a little bit before the setup, the first day that we got here, and you got to be honest. I mean, great balls, mind you, but they are just a little bit. They are a little bit hard to the touch, and when they're inflated the entire way like that, adding into the fact that with the humidity in the arena, and whenever that ball touches any body part that isn't a hand, I mean, you're asking for trouble. It's going to be a very slippery ball, and you know, that's to be honest, I feel like that's a big reason why we've seen so many missed three-pointers and so many air balls. I don't think we've ever seen so many air balls thrown up in an international competition before. And it deserves to be mentioned, though, because when people are watching this on TV and watching it over the webcast going, oh my goodness, like, how are these guys not able to make a shot? Well, to be honest, if you're in here and you're seeing the kind of conditions that are on at the time, now mind you, of course, it is a fantastic setup, but when that ball is getting a little bit slippery, it's hard to shoot it.
Well, there's 57 seconds best part of left here in the first half. Morocco leading Angola 23 points to 20 in a very low scoring first half. There are games where you can see this as a quarter score, never mind a halftime score.
Yep.
Here's Costa.
Looks like he almost got away with a carry there.
Yeah, he looked like he was going to pick it up, didn't he? Souza kicks it out. Moras' three-point shot doesn't go. Najar with the rebound.
And Moras, ever since he's taken off that bandage, well, mind you, he's only taken 2 shots. Here we go, 25 seconds.
Wilkins moves it round, and Richie's fouled on the floor. But they're over the limit, so it'll be 2 foul shots. I think both coaches will be looking forward to half time.
Oh, definitely. That was a quick replay. Richie knocks down the first one. Honestly, I feel like Richie, he might have to start trying to get something going here for his team. He's just so quick. He's got a killer crossover too. He's one of the more impressive players I've seen coming into this tournament.
Well, final play of the first half. Costa waves him down. He's going to go alone. And he does, and he dumps it off, and Souza jams it in on the buzzer. Good play to finish by Angola, but both teams will know they have to come out a bit more aggressively offensively in the second half. They need a bit more of this sort of thing. We're at the half here in Dakar in this FIBA AfroBasket 2017 group game. It's Morocco 25, Angola 22. And as they make their way to the changing rooms for some discussions with the coaches, we'll have a look at the numbers. Look at that. 2 of 21 combined from the three-point line. A lot of rebounds on offer as a result of that. And, well, both teams will go, you know what, defensively, not too bad. Offensively, must do better.
Yeah, not just that, though, as well. If you're looking offensively, Morocco, they're actually shooting pretty well from the field, and they're also getting it done from the free throw line as we're looking at some of these highlights. Of course, that was one of the first highlights of the game. And then Najar, of course, getting it off starting it off there for Morocco. We're just looking, it's just been a bit of a sloppy occasion here, though, if you're looking at some of these highlights. And both teams just kind of seem to be lacking that poise. Of course, there's a very impressive step back, though. Just the physicality of this game is on full display, though. You really just also have to wonder, I mean, both teams have won their first game, and maybe they're taking a look at around the pool that they have and going, well, you know, it's not the end of the world if we lose this game, but of course you don't want to be that losing team because you're putting yourself at risk of being eliminated. But it just doesn't seem like the teams are playing like that right now.
Well, they definitely both need to pick it up and find some way of getting more points on the board, because at the minute we've only seen 47 in the first half by the two teams combined, and we saw Senegal score 47 in the half on their own earlier today. And hopefully we'll have a bit more in the way of offensive production in the second half, but for now Ryan and I take a break. We'll be back in about 10 minutes time. We'll leave you with these last few highlights. Good evening from Senegal, where we've got, I don't know, roughly about an hour left in the day here in AfroBasket 2017, day 2. We're watching Group B action between Angola and Morocco, and the winner of this game will be top of the group come the end of the evening, with 2 wins from 2 played, but it's anybody's guess who that winner will be. We had a very low scoring first half, both teams struggling to put the ball in the basket, and it's the Moroccans who lead 25 points to 22, but we're hoping for a bit more in the way of offensive action here in the second half, Ryan.
Well, it really just kind of seems like the way both teams are playing, it's more like you take the win. No, you take the win. That's just been the kind of offensive output we've seen so far. But to both teams' credit, though, they started to pick it up a little bit near the end. Had a couple of highlight reel dunks, a couple of very impressive and one finishes. So it really is just going to, like going back to the boxing analogy earlier, the fight's gone through about 6 or 7 rounds, and it's about time for both teams to really figure out what the other team has and start attacking the weaknesses and start aiming for their own personal strengths. And at this point, really just given by how competitive this group has been, make no mistake, whoever loses this game is still not a guarantee to move on to the next round. The Central Africans and the Ugandans have both proven that they can give anyone a hard time.
Yeah,
so,
that's the interesting point about this. The winner of this will take a big step towards the next round, but the loser is in all sorts of trouble, because this is the very tight group, because you've got well, whoever loses this will be 1-1 alongside the Central African Republic, who are 1-1, and Uganda are 0-2 at this stage. And tomorrow is Morocco, Uganda, and Angola, Central African Republic. And Uganda are 0-2, but could be 2-0. They could easily have won both their games.
Absolutely.
As we have a look at that shot, but so that's the thing, you know, it's going to be a tough day tomorrow.
Yep.
In this group.
And really, when you also add in the fact that Uganda, I'm sure for a fact, they would love to spoil someone's party if whoever they face, or sorry, excuse me, when they face Morocco, if Morocco does end up on the losing end of this game.
Well, I suppose in theory, there's still a chance that Uganda could get through, because it's still possible that all teams could end, or 3 teams could end 1-2. And then it gets into very complicated maths. And I'm sure you will have worked it all out for me by the time we come back tomorrow in terms of the qualification. But
oh, absolutely. It's what I do. I aim to please, Dan.
It's, yeah, it could get very head-scratching tomorrow in Group B. It looks a little bit more clear-cut in Group D, because we're assuming that Senegal will win their final game and get through, and you would make Egypt the favorites as well, but we'll have to watch that one closely. But this group is still very much in the balance. Cipriano's 3 doesn't go.
We're going, just for people watching at home, just be advised, it is 25-24 for the Moroccans over Angola. Costa, with that earlier jump shot near the beginning of the quarter, has brought Angola to within 1.
Well, it's been very close. Oh, just couldn't hang on to the ball there, and it's out of bounds. It's been very close throughout. I mean, that is the beauty of low-scoring games, is they're usually close.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And this game is no different in that sense. Gets just over the line now.
Cipriano taking it to the hole. And Chua running the floor, wanting it back, doesn't get it. Wilkins on the trail, steps into the 3-point shot.
Well, he usually makes those too.
Yeah, I think, well, the interesting thing is Benchlecker, when running after the rebound, if he'd stayed where it was, it would have come to him. It ended up going over his head. He was a bit unlucky. Can't fault the hustle though. And there
Oh,
he is
wow, what
again,
a
diving on the
pass.
floor, but gets it out. Costa underneath, throws the bounce pass behind the back. Tipped, and eventually it's in from Reggie Moore.
There's Reggie Moore. Always seems to be at the right place at the right time when he's finishing. There's an American-born from Angola. Impressive finish. He's got a great nose for the ball, if you will.
Here's Wilkins. Mosby moves it on. Gets it back. Shot clock is getting low, and it's ripped away by Costa. Ignore the horn, keep going. Oh, my. Oh, is he all right? And Mraz is there to convert. He just slipped at the half court there.
There's Moore again.
A timeout is called.
And that was the play right there that got the floor so slippery.
And then this is the tip in from Miller. But yeah, to be fair, the guy wiping the floor had come on the court as we have another look at the putback from Moore. And then the game started playing, so he had to move out of the way.
He had to, yeah, he didn't really.
And then I think it was Mraz pointed to the referee that there's a down patch there, but the game didn't stop in time. But he does look like he's all right. And the timeout has been called 3 minutes into the quarter, and Najjar and Larici basically carrying their team right now. You see the third top scorer has 2 points. They've got 19 of their team's 25.
Yeah, Larici with a couple of impressive finishes at the rim, including a nice and one.
Relima, let's give him a shout out because he's also got 2 points. So tied in third place.
But as we've said, this has been one that's going to come down to really just who's going to make the fewest amount of mistakes, who's going to finish most amount of shots. It kind of goes without saying in basketball, but
you just get a feeling that the first team to make a run is suddenly going to end up 12, 14 points ahead.
Yeah.
And it'll only need to be a 2 or 3 minute run as well, the way things are going. Richie drives in. That's nice ball movement from the Moroccans, but they get nothing from it. Cipriano is trapped in the corner there. There's no way out. And despite excessive protestations from Najjar, it is a Angolan ball.
Yep. A good effort nonetheless, though. Don't look now. Now, can Angola be that team, though, that goes on the run now that you were speaking about? They're up by 3.
Oh, it's an 8-second violation because he got trapped on the baseline. He took a fair few seconds off there. And it's one of them that, because it's an inbound ball, you kind of don't look at it, but the referee obviously was. And the Moroccan bench certainly were. Didn't get it over the line in time.
Yes, it does. This game actually almost has a bit of a NCAA tournament feel to it. Both teams are really just doing everything they can, set up their half-court offense, run through the play, use up the clock. You know, one possession, one shot sort of thing going on. A lot of defensive rebounds, not many second chance opportunities. Excellent boxing out done by both defenses. So it really is a testament to their defense as much as it is maybe a little bit of struggle on the offensive end.
El Maksoud, good head fake, draws the contact. And that's the thing, once you get the guy up in the air, there's almost nothing Mraz can do in that situation. You just got to, well, don't go fishing is the advice.
Yep. It's just one of those cases where, once again, though, and you could also, given the flow of this game right now, Dan, it could be won and lost on the free throw line. Both of these teams are actually very good free throw shooters, arguably the best free throw shooters in Dakar in this stage of the tournament.
Well, Adil El Maksoud on the line makes the first one, plays his club basketball for CRA Hastima in Morocco. And good work from Najjar initially, but he couldn't hang on to it.
Yep. But once again, Najjar, him and Moore, that's going to be the real intriguing battle right now between those two, because they've both shown that, you know, they're almost the exact same body type and style of play. They both hit the mid-range jumper. They both are not afraid to put the ball on the floor.
Good beards as well, if we're doing comparison. Moore has it.
They could be brothers.
They could be. And foul is called as Moore was trying to make his presence felt. Mohamed Shua could only grab hold of him. Costa, top of the key for three, off left.
Give El Maksud another rebound for his stat sheet.
Najjar way out for three-pointer. Had the line but not the legs, and it bounced off the hand of Olympia Cipriano last, and possession goes back to Morocco.
There's El Maksud talking about being in the right place at the right time. But also Luigi, when that shot comes down, sometimes it's not just about getting the offensive board. Sometimes just being there and just tipping that ball loose and knocking it off an opposing player is enough to regain the possession. Just, you know, despite the fact that we're not seeing a lot of scoring in this game, we are seeing a lot of the little right things being done. And maybe that's part of the reason why this is such a low scoring game.
Well, should have scored there. Conceição off and running. Gets it to Cipriano. Cipriano lays it in off the glass, and Angola double their lead to 4.
He was taking no chances there, finishing with both hands, touching the backboard as he went up. I don't blame him though.
Oh yeah, we're going to make sure. Najjar called for the foul off the ball. Conceição in a heap on the floor.
Conceição just forever the aggravator, getting himself involved. He knew he was outmatched physically. Look at this.
There's a little hip and forearm action there.
Yep. To his defense, though, Najjar did clearly catch him a little bit with the hip.
Yeah, he did, yeah.
Yep. Sometimes, hey man, by any means necessary at this point, if you got to embellish a call, especially if it's the right one, you do it.
Well, they've left Mraz open underneath. Eventually Najjar got there, but too late.
Yeah, Mraz.
And suddenly, we were talking about, is there a little bit of momentum coming Angola's way? They've stretched out to a 6-point lead.
And look at that, the tape is back on for Mraz.
Yeah, and the baskets start going in again. Oh, just the poor one there from Najjar. He gets crossed up at the half court as well.
There we go.
Cipriano around to Conceição, more in the low post.
Yep. And that was the matchup we've been waiting to see, and Najjar, unfortunately, reaching in at just the wrong time. And that's not the side you want to reach in on. You don't want to give Moore the baseline like that. He loves that spin move. As you see him go in. Attempt the dunk. Just not high enough, though.
No. Third foul on Najjar. He sits down.
And now he's directing traffic, too. Moore.
He wants it again. Backs down. Double team. Kicks out Conceição from behind the arc, off the back of the ring.
Oh, that's a great gamble by the Moroccan defense, forcing it out of Moore's hands.
Oh, on the trail.
Excellent job. I think that's the first fast break points they've had in this quarter.
Cipriano trying to shake and bake, gets it back to Moore.
Yeah, it wasn't Luigi, wasn't having any of it.
And pretty obvious foul there from Adil El Maksud. Hands all over Reggie Moore in the low post. You'll see it here. Oh no, this is a replay, sorry, of the basket at the other end. Here it's a push. I think I said that was Maksud, and actually it was Relimu who fouled him. Moore for three, falling down.
It looked good from here too. Tough bounce.
Al-Maksud. Richie. Short from 19 feet is short.
He's got to know where he is on the floor, though. That's got to be a three-point attempt if you're going to shoot that far away.
Joe just knocks it out of bounds, and it'll be possession for the Angolans.
Once again, though, Angola, just when you think they're about to go on a bit of a run here, they've kind of stalled themselves. They will have an opportunity, though, to get another basket here. Meanwhile, the Moroccans, they're just hanging around at this point, maybe hoping at some point to catch a little bit momentum themselves.
Well, it might be whoever has the last run. It might be whoever scores the last basket, in truth.
Very true.
That's the foul for three. Moore with the rebound off the glass. Or Angola might just sneak away here. They've got to 6.
And Moore, as we said in the second half, so important in that win over Uganda that went to overtime. He's showing his worth yet again here. He's just one of those kind of tweener bodies. He's just big and physical and athletic.
Al-Maksud banks it in for 3.
Al-Maksud keeping the Moroccans in it, though.
They needed that.
Without question, that was their first bucket in about a minute and a half.
A good dive to the basket by Moore, and well found by Moras. And Moore will go to the free throw line, shooting 2. Here's another look. Squared it up and
kiss off the glass, and here's Moore. And that's just the kind of finish. They're just getting himself inside off that foul. He's been such an important factor for this team in the first 2 games for Angola, coming off of the bench. And this kind of style of play suits him, though, right? The kind where you're just setting up your half court. He's pretty comfortable just about anywhere on the floor. You've seen him let a couple fly from outside as well. He's got an opportunity to extend Angola's lead here as well.
He makes the first. And he's going to get himself a breather with Moreira checking in for him.
And of course now Moreira, a different kind of big.
Yeah, geez.
That's
a very different kind.
Yeah. Almost the opposite in body type for a forward.
Lima in a bit of trouble, so he takes matters into his own hands. Now he wants the ball in the low post, but Al-Maksud goes alone. Al-Maksud all the way to the basket, lays it in. And he's got a chance for a 3-point play.
Al-Maksud, excellent job there taking on the Angolans. I don't think they were expecting him to be right there. And once again, though, if you're looking on that replay there, that was an excellent box out by number 15 on Morocco, Relimi, who was able to keep Moreira from coming to challenge the shot. And once again, we're talking about the fact that even though it's a low-scoring game, both of these teams highly, highly disciplined on both their offense and defense. Very high IQ teams going at it here right now, and that's just another example of it.
A quick chance for Paolo to attack the basket, as we've seen so many times over the last couple of days. He's very much a north-south player. When he gets it, he's going to the hole.
Speaking of north-south, here's another one. Larici with the ball.
Wilkins kicks inside. Well, I'm not sure how they lost Reda Relima in there.
Yeah, that's a good question. Well, I think it was just basically, as you could see, it was Moreira that had the switch off on Larici. And as a result, when Larici had finally made a move to the basket to get the pass off, Moreira had to make that spin back. By that time, Relimi was already deep inside the post. And Moreira, to his credit, he does have the lateral quickness to keep up with a guy like Larici, but you can't leave the big man open down low. And as a result now, he's making him pay at the free throw line.
Well, he's listed at 209. He looks more like 215 to me. But he's certainly a big unit.
He is. You see him, he was going about nose to nose with Moreira in the post there. Moreira's listed at 211. 6'11" in Old English terms.
Yes, it is. But Lima looks like an old-fashioned 7-footer, doesn't he?
Oh, very much so. And he got the job done that time.
And there's still 3 points between them. 190 to go. No way through for Ambrosio, and it'll be an end-line ball to Morocco.
Yeah, and it just looked like they're
¿Hay mucho sol? Qué asco, este viene con lentes. Chatín. Y bueno, los viajes a Hawái, de hecho ya se han vuelto un clásico. Ya tengo un par de años yendo a la playa llamada Joss, que es una playa respetada mundialmente como una de las olas más peligrosas del mundo. Tuve la suerte de entrar al tubo, un par de olas que me sombré, sentía la ola muy poderosa, muy increíble. Este año regresé de nuevo, estuve ahí en febrero y con un huracán. La verdad que yo sabía que algo iba a pasar ese día, ya me la olía, había tenido sesiones muy limpias, dije no, ahora sí la cagá. Y tuve un pato muy fuerte, tuve una caída que fue nombrada como el wipeout del año. Apunté a esa. La agarré, volé desde arriba hasta abajo, así. Cuando bajo, me encuentro con un espumón blanco que me frena y me voy para adelante y me saqué el alma. Y bueno, ya terminé mi entrenamiento con Rodrigo de Gímnica, o sea que ahora nos vamos volando rapidísimo a la casa de Joaquín del Castillo a encontrarnos con las leyendas del surf. O sea que vamos ahí a encontrarnos con toda la gente de Perú Surf.
Hola amigos de Perú Surf, estamos a punto de entrar a la isla con el primer campeón mundial de tabla, Felipe Pomar. Vamos a hacer una sesión en pádel y luego vamos a tener otra sesión en tabla y él nos va a contar sobre qué es lo que es correr a los más de 70 años. Felipe, ¿cómo estás Felipe?
Muy bien, gracias Carlos. Estudiando y aprendiendo he tenido resultados que a mí me han impresionado. Creo que estoy corriendo olas mejor, de todas maneras mejor que hace 20 años. Y para la izquierda estoy corriendo mejor que hace 50 años. Corro mejor ahora para la izquierda.
And Greece won. Here's the stats from our game here today. Still not a lot doing from the 3-point line. 2 points isn't the end of the world. Angola struggling from the foul line. Morocco doing okay from that distance. But as we take a look back at some of the action from this game, I don't know, I just kind of feel at some point one of these teams is going to hit, I don't know, 2 or 3 threes in a minute or minute and a half, and suddenly you're going to look up at the scoreboard and it's going to be a 10-point game. I have no idea which of the two it's going to be, but I just have this gut feeling that one of them is going to do it.
This has easily been the most evenly matched game we've witnessed so far in the AfroBasket here in Dakar. As we're taking a look here at Moore finishing at the point. But you know what? You can even make also the argument that it may not even have to be the three-pointers. It could just be a couple of bigs getting it done off of pick and rolls consistently, whereas the other team is consistently missing the layups, their layups. I think it could just be, it could be almost any kind of run like that.
The reason I say the three-pointers is because both are shooting the ball terribly from the three-point line, and yet both have good three-point shooters. So at some point you get regression to the mean.
Yes.
And actually somebody starts making some.
Now, and actually to add on to that point, Dan, both of these teams, that's how they won their games.
Yeah.
They've won both of their games. They were having close games, back and forth battles the entire way through. And then right at the end, knocked down a couple of big threes and then finished with a couple of and ones, and that was the game. So we'll see which team does that here in the fourth quarter.
Cipriano, he takes the three. Thought he was going to make one there just to make me look like I know what I'm talking about, but he didn't. It's tipped out of bounds.
It's too early for that yet,
Dan.
Too
early for that.
Too early. You can't be doing that. They're telling you to relax a bit.
Bit of a full court show here from Angola, but really only to get the ball out of the point guard's hands, and El Maqsood takes it over. Shua driving baseline, gets a little space for himself, and Morocco lead by 4.
And that's all he needs, though. Gets up right away, no hesitation, finishes at the rim. He's not going to get an easier bucket than that in this game, and that is clear, given the defense.
Moore hits from behind the arc. Maybe I might be right, yeah.
Reggie Moore putting on his best Reggie Miller impression here. Maybe it's winning time for Angola.
It's a 1-point game now. El Maqsood driving in. Tough shot. It goes. He got a bounce. He got a few of them, in fact. And El Maqsood has a chance for a 3-point play.
And there's a sign of the coaching staff that knows exactly what it wants. Gets the 3-point play. Everyone's excited on the bench, but here's the coach calling everybody over to tell them what they did wrong.
Well, he's had his say now, and El Maqsood walks back to the free throw line. Chance to, it's a bit early in the game to talk about making it a 2-shot game, but it's been so tight throughout. He has a chance to make it a 2-shot game. He doesn't take it. Costa with the rebound.
Here we go, and any kind of lead is pivotal against Angola.
Morass, nice, using the basket well. The reverse lay-in.
And here we go. We're starting to see the floor open up just a little bit here, Dan. Both of these teams starting to show off just exactly what they can do.
Yeah, it's like we've got through 3 quarters. Let's go for it now. Wilkins inside. Alimi backing down. And eventually Moore commits the foul.
It almost seems like both of these teams were playing a little bit of possum there, Dan, just kind of waiting for this fourth quarter to begin, saving the energy. Because as we've said before, it is a very humid atmosphere here in Dakar. And these players are very aware of that, both two very veteran-savvy teams that have been in some very big games in all of their careers. They understand the importance of having that little bit left in the tank in the fourth quarter, and we're starting to see flashes of it right now as Relimi knocks down his first free throw.
Well, the second one doesn't go. Nice form on it, but it just caught the ring.
Yeah, he's probably got the smoothest release I've seen of any big man standing at his size so far in this tournament.
Costa got away with that. Moras drives along the baseline, in trouble, gets it out, moved on. Cipriano in the corner, hits the three, and Angola in front.
Here we go. Maybe, Dan, instead of just one team catching fire, we could be seeing two here.
Right, yeah.
It's just a sign of teams that have been there before, though, really. Because despite the fact that it hasn't been a high-scoring game, I've said this pretty often throughout this broadcast, but you're not really seeing many bad decisions with the ball, many dumb mistakes or unnecessary fouls. Both of these teams have been very, very conservative in their approach to the game.
Speaking of unnecessary fouls, there's one from Felizardo Ambrosio.
Come on, Ambrosio, you got to help me out here.
Yeah, he's not even halfway through the sentence about unnecessary fouls, and you commit one.
Yeah, but once again, we're starting to see the teams go for it as well.
Richie certainly going for it, taking it inside. Lima has had a good couple of minutes here, gets it out to Wilkins, and Ambrosio makes amends by pulling down the rebound. Angola get a chance to stretch their advantage.
More thought about it there.
Yeah, he did. He thought about it a couple of times. So too did Cipriano, but his shot doesn't go.
There it is, 2 3-point shooters there.
Two dumps it off. Lima a little fall away, almost knocked away by Maxud, and Moore taps him on the backside and said, yeah, nice play.
That's a good look, but Relimi, he's got to understand what's been working for him, and off of that screen, it's rolling to the basket, and there, he didn't commit. Maybe it's just a sign of fatigue, to be perfectly honest, and of course now Relimi taking a breath, and Najah coming back in, and there's the guy you want if you're going to do a pick and pop.
Here's Costa. Cipriano. Moras to the spin as it ripped away by El Maxud.
Great defense.
El Maxud with the crossover gets it back, and he must have walked with it, surely. He got a long way, and coach wanted an unsportsmanlike foul. What he gets is a travel.
No, I think you know what, he should even, to be honest, he should be thankful that he got away with the carry. Look at this.
Oh, I see what he's talking about. Costa sort of caught him, but the referee said it was okay.
It looked like he lost possession completely even.
Yeah, it did. From our angle, it looked completely different from coach's angle.
Yeah, you can't call it a foul. You can't call it a travel if he didn't have possession.
Cipriano fakes his man, gets some space, misses the three.
But Angola does not make them pay. And here we go again.
Cipriano.
I'll be honest, I think that may have been a bit of a makeup call just now, because we've seen that kind of shoving happen all throughout this game, and there hasn't necessarily been a whistle very often for them. You can see the coach now still trying to plead his case from from 2 plays ago.
El Misbahi inbounds. It comes around to El Maxud. Najah trying to fight for position. He looked like he got one, but it didn't give him the ball. Now they do. Oh, good pass off. Oh, not quite for Choa. But that's a well-executed play by Morocco.
Yep. You can just see how exhausted these guys are. The body language between the whistles, or sorry, outside of the whistles. And the arms are hanging right now, Dan. The shoulders are a little bit slumped. And this is where it's going to come down to which team is better conditioned.
Well, remember, Angola went to overtime as well last night. That doesn't help. So they had the slightly later finish with extra time on the clock.
That's head coach Morocco
played earlier in the day.
Yep.
It's all about being battle tested getting through these tournaments.
Yep. Chua picking a great time to get his first 2 foul shots, and he makes good, and he's now shooting 100% from the charity stripe. Now the referees, they want almost the entire box cleaned out here with the cleaners. I'm taking a look at the head coaches, both of them, just looks of agony on their faces right now. They know what's at stake right now.
We have to say, the floor wipers have worked really hard tonight. They've had a lot to do.
They deserve a raise.
Yeah.
Give them a raise.
Yeah.
Because they have been busting it, and it's been the same floor wipers the entire tournament, mind you. They've been here as long as us.
Well, they've not worked as hard as they have in this game.
That's for sure.
Cipriano. Moraz clears some space, gets the shot off, and he's short show with the rebound.
Great job creating the separation there, but he may not have needed it just as much as he did. Ended up affecting his shot.
Najjar drives in, finishes off, draws the contact as well. Souza slipped on the floor, and Najjar took full advantage of that.
Yeah, you look at it here. Yeah, there he goes, right down on the ground. And how many backsides have we seen hit the floor today? But that time around, I don't think, and Najjar doesn't necessarily have the same kind of handles as Hannah from Senegal or any of the other point guards. But you know what? I'm sure he'll still gladly take that one for his highlight tape.
I'm sure it will be on his mixtape. 5.5 minutes to go. Timeout has been called in the game. It's 49 to Morocco, 46 to Angola.
We go looking at the points leaders right now. Moore leading the way with 13, and Moreira in limited minutes once again, though, still bringing down the lead with 5 rebounds as he had last night against Uganda.
We haven't quite seen the fireworks from Moraz. He's got 9 points so far. I just get the feeling he's one of those streak guys that once he gets on that streak, he's going to ride it out as long as he can. Najjar doing a job both on the glass and scoring, and El Maksoud as well. Richie's been a bit quiet in the second half, having been one of the driving forces in the first half.
He has, unfortunately, and you know, this is one of those moments you'd expect for him to shine the most with that lightning quick first step he has. He's just so good at finishing at the rim, but he seems like and he's not on the floor right now, as he seems to have, even while he was on the floor, taken a bit of a back seat to guys like Najjar and Relimi, and just say at this point, you know, we got to rely on our bigs to finish consistently in the paint, because those guys have been looking incredibly sharp for both sides, but specifically for Morocco. Najjar's working the paint, Relimi's working the paint, working off of the screens, cutting to the basket, and there's Najjar right there, proving my point by knocking down a shot that gives them a 2-possession lead now with 5:20 to go here in the fourth.
Here's Costa for Angola onto Cipriano. And he had a double think about that. Moraz probably should have shot it the first time.
Yeah, but Moraz, as you said, one of those players that he's very confident in any shot that he takes.
El Maksoud from behind the arc. Batted loose.
There it goes again, another one to the floor.
And they've got 5 on 4 here. Cipriano. Moore, Costa.
And you can see number 10 for Morocco, Mohamed Choua. And that's another thing that you got to keep in mind here. If you fall on the floor and you get yourself back up and you've got the sweat going on, your shoes are going to catch some of it as well, as we're looking at a replay of Costa.
Moore caught him in the chin there as well.
Luckily, he's got that big beard to protect him.
Well, yeah.
Protect him, sorry. Here we are, the 4th game in a row. Just about winding down here, day 2.
Well, we've had 3 really close ones, and 1 really impressive performance from Senegal. So whilst it wasn't close, it was still very exciting and interesting to watch. And the other 3, there's been nothing between the teams.
You couldn't have asked for a better day 2 competition here, as The players are now actually on the floor letting the sweepers know where the wet spots are.
Well, we had 64-67 in our 4 o'clock game, 61-67 in our 1:30 game, so maybe 67 is the magic number here.
Could be. Rims out though after a very impressive passing display along the perimeter there. Angola, it just rims out for them, and you have to wonder now, can Morocco start having that pull away that you've been talking about so much, Dan?
Yeah, keep reminding me while it's not happening. Jar inside draws the contact, and he goes to the line. He's definitely been a big difference maker in this game. And he's got a chance to add to his 13 points. He also has 8 rebounds to his name and a plus minus of 13. He's really had a huge impact on the game.
Yeah, and let's, you know, one of the factors of this game, considering that we've seen so many players having trouble kind of keeping their balance on the floor, it really has came down to a battle of the bigs. And they've done
5 of 5 now. Well, yeah, just as soon as I say that, he misses his 6th attempt, 5 of 6 from the free throw line.
And Najah, he's embracing the moment right now.
Cipriano drives through, loses the ball. Morocco were off and running, but there was a whistle call first. A little reaching. Cipriano. Moore for 3 off the front of the ring. Both teams continuing their woes from distance. That's a 25th 3-point attempt for Angola. They've made 4. 2 of 17 the other way.
See now. Oh, there's another. It's a defender stumbling.
Richie finding a gap, losing the ball.
Coach from Morocco. He is not amused by the attempt there by Larici. But what was Larici to do? Not really an option. Trying to attack himself. I think at this point it just seems like Morocco wants to eat off as much clock as possible before taking a shot.
Well, it's probably not a bad option in a low-scoring game. Oh, Najah with the steal, looking him out and running. Oh, he slows it down. Good change of pace, lays it in. Wants a foul, doesn't get one, but all of a sudden you look up at the scoreboard, it's a 9-point lead.
It's the biggest one by far of either team.
Moore wanting a foul, doesn't get one. Souza with the rebound. Najah got a piece of that, but it went in all the same.
There's Souza. And yeah, you want to see Angola a little bit of pressure now. Try and get something going here. Don't look now, but you only have under 3 minutes remaining.
And 7 points in a low-scoring game is hard to find. Big shot here from Wilkins up top. It hits the front of the ring. Cipriano with the rebound. Morales throws it up, and De Souza throws it down.
There's a great finish by Angola. What a find by Mora.
Just when they needed it. Costa really couldn't get out of the way in the foul score.
No, definitely not, but my goodness, Souza. That is Silvio De Souza. Look at this, up, bang. And it really just kind of seems like the Moroccan defense was caught sleeping there on transition, just because Angola has been so methodical in their pace bringing the ball up the floor, but not that time.
Well, Angola had to come from behind in the last few minutes yesterday. They trail by 5 with 2:07 to go today, so they need to try and eke out a win. They needed an extra 5 minutes to do it on day 1. Can they once again reach the mountaintop here and pull out a win?
Once again, Not the Angola we were expecting to see in this tournament, but nonetheless, they are finding ways to win, and that's what good teams do. When you're not, you find ways to win when you're not on your best day.
Well, if you use the tennis analogy, when it gets to the majors, they say what you got to do is get to the second week. And this is a similar scenario. Just get to the second week. Get yourself to Tunisia and then work things out. If it's not going perfectly here, you've got some time, a few days in between to right the ship. But if you don't get to next week, you can't right the ship.
Exactly. Right now, Angola giving themselves a chance, as they do oh so often, but Morocco is not Uganda. Morocco has been around the way. They know how to put away games. They've proven it in this tournament as Larici, no good, as I say it, misses the free throw that would have made it a 2-possession game to at least tie for Angola.
Well, they've been pretty decent from this distance today, close to 70%, but that'll drop a little bit after that miss.
There we go, though. He makes the second.
So it's still 2 shots.
And that's just a tie.
Yeah. I'm assuming they're threes. Here's Costa. Oh, he almost lost it, gets it back.
That's it. That's what you want to do as a defense here. You're seeing that the hands are slippery. Take advantage.
Cipriano driving through. Referee says the foul's on the floor. Moreira back into the game. He's got some sort of bandage on his eyebrow.
Yep.
Cipriano to inbound. They need a score here, really. Costa. Cipriano open for 3. Looks good. It isn't good, though. We were right behind that. It looked like it was going in, but it didn't. Less than 100 seconds to play. Morocco on the brink of moving top of this group.
If they can hold off.
And a score here would be huge. But, oh, almost a turnover. It's picked back up. That's a tough shot. Oh, it's a massive shot from El Maksoud.
A shot, and that could do it. But here's Angola. Can they respond?
Well, they just need a quick score. It doesn't have to be a 3. Just get something on the board. Cipriano driving in. D'Souza with the rebound. And I think he was fouled underneath by the captain, El Misbahi.
There's the physicality again, Morocco. And if you're Morocco, though, yeah, take that chance. Get up there and defend that shot. And look at this. He just great awareness, too, though. He knew he only had about 3 seconds left on the shot clock. And there he is, just landing on his foot, landing on the defender's foot as he fell down. Luckily, no one got injured off of that mix-up there.
Well, they've not been very good from the free throw line today. This is Sousa's first trip. Well, that's off. You can see from the camera angle behind. 6 of 14 from the free throw line. So they've given away 8 points. They trail by 9.
That's going to be a tough one here. That was essential to make. Does get the second, and now the Moroccan coaching staff calling for a timeout. They go over the defensive plan here. They got 1 minute in a 3-possession game.
I think part of it as well is you're more likely to lose the ball inbounding from the end line. You've got 2 timeouts to give with 1:03 to go. Why not just advance the ball in this situation? Because then they play defense differently. If they're in the half court, they might think, well, actually, let's trust our D and get a stop.
Yeah.
Rather than they'll gamble a bit more when it's in the front court, trying to get a steal, and you know, you might accidentally turn the ball over.
Not just turn it over as well. On that comeback, Angola has shown in this game just how lethal they can be on the fast break, and it's something that they can't afford not to do at this point. As you see the Moroccan bench now going over the game plan.
Plus a score here could almost put it out of sight, couldn't it? So
Yes.
the other reason for a timeout, you could draw yourself up a nice play, something that you guys like and are used to. Sue getting the ice rub to try and keep him cool, because he's hot right now. He's the one guy who's knocked down a few threes.
Look at
None
this.
more important than this one.
Yep, absolutely huge. Making it a 3-possession game with just over a minute remaining.
He's 3 of 6 from the three-point line. He's the only guy in the game with multiple three-pointers.
Here we go.
He's the only guy on his team with any three-pointers.
No fouls.
No, you trust your defense here with 50 seconds to go. Traveling violation.
Oh, wow.
Good way to trust. And Morera was trying to get on with it quickly, but he was doing so in the wrong place.
Yep. I think he was trying to do that on purpose, too.
Yeah. Here he is going hard
Yep.
to the hole. And the foul is called on Choa, so Yannick Morera will go to the free throw line. He's not been very productive from this distance today, just 1 of 4, but these are must-makes with 43 seconds to go. These have to go in.
Not just that, you just see it, his body language. As soon as he got the ball, he knew exactly what he wanted to do, just attack the rim. But you kind of wish that if you'd seen a little bit of this from him a little bit earlier, a little bit more
urgency.
Yeah, urgency, thank you. That was the word I was looking for. Maybe Angola isn't down by 8 right now. And of course.
He does make the first.
Yep, but he's a big-time player. We saw it last night in overtime. As soon as the overtime lights came on, it's like a light bulb went off in his head, and he just started playing incredibly more physically, finishing his free throws too, mind you, converting a couple of three-point plays.
This needs to go in to make it a 2-shot game. It does. Choa, by the way, fouled out on that play. Forgot to mention that. El Maksud wants to inbound it. 6 between them, 43 seconds to go. They get it in. Oh no, they've given it away right under the basket. Oh, it's missed. It comes all the way out. Nice bike. Oh wow, what a catalogue of errors. First of all, the turnover, and then how does he not score?
You have to score that. You just cannot allow yourself, and how many times have we seen that in this tournament so far though, Dan? Where you get the ball and it's right there. There's no one stopping you. It's just sometimes the players seem to just freeze up.
Well, you see why the coach called a timeout on the last play to advance the ball, don't you? Because that can happen.
Yep.
And now the Angolan coach has decided to call time because he's got to draw up a play for himself.
Yep.
And his team. They're almost to the point where it doesn't have to be a three-pointer now. The problem is they've got no timeouts left, so if it's only worth 2, they're in a bit of freewheeling. They're going to have to foul to stop the clock as well.
I'll be honest, I think at this point, as we've seen the urgency in Morera, they just had a shot on him sooner. As we're looking at the bench right now, I wouldn't mind setting up a screen off the ball, getting him the inbound, and just getting him somewhere around the three-point line with the ball off the inbound and just let him go to the rim as fast and as hard as he possibly can. For whatever reason, he just always seems to kind of light up in these moments. And he's, once again, we've talked on end during this game about his athleticism and his ability, and we saw it right there as well. When he gets a full head of steam, he's incredibly fast for a man his size. And sometimes, if he gets the ball and he's made his mind up, all you can do is foul him. It doesn't matter who you put in front of him.
Well, let's see what coach has drawn up. Rajara is there trying to pump up his guys in the middle of the lane. It's going to be Wilkins who's got the task of guarding Morera. Conceição is going to inbound it. Well, it's gone to Moras. Moras fires up for 3. It doesn't go. Body's flying on the floor. And I think it's Conceição who's been whistled for. It looked like he was pulling Larici down.
Yep. Once again, though, don't have a problem with that idea. As Moras, another big-time player, he's made some big shots for Angola so far. Even though we were only through almost 2 games here, at some point you had to think that he was going to make those shots. And Conceição here now trying to plead his case to the referees.
Well, one of these has to go in for Laurentiis. 4 of 5 from this distance. One of these means Angola needs to score 3. Oh, he doesn't make the first.
He's now 1 for 3 on his last 2 trips. Let's see if he can at least make it 50%. Still shooting very well though overall in the game, 67 overall.
He's made the second. Angola need 3 scores inside 30 seconds here. Conceição. Moras loses it. Does he turn it over? It's out of bounds. It's a Angola ball.
There it is. And everybody's just flying everywhere now at this point. Morocco, they know what's at stake right now.
And they also know that Angola are going for 3s to defend the 3-point line.
Yep.
You can almost give up a layup.
Yep. If I'm Angola though, why not just go for the layup and try and force another full court press?
Well, let's see what they do out of this out of bounds. Cipriano to inbound. Moras has got to go quick. Sousa offers the screen. He gets a little space. He has to bail out of the shot. Conceição for 3. It has to go in. It doesn't go in. It's a rebound. And that will do it. A tremendous victory here for Morocco. They're going to run time down. And this is a really big win for them. And look at them celebrate on the bench. They've got a very good chance now of getting through to the knockout stages, having been victorious here, and they will move to 2-0. Angola dropped to 1-1. It's Morocco 60, Angola 53.
Well, Dan, you called it. You said all it was going to take is one team to go on that run of a couple 3-pointers, and literally, just as you're saying in that 4th quarter, it was El Maksoud that was the hero for Morocco, knocking down a big 3 that put them up by 3 possessions, and it was a lead that they would not relinquish.
Well, Morocco missed 16 3-point attempts, but El Maksoud was 50% from the 3-point line. He was 3 of 6. He came up with the big ones, none more so than his last. That was really the backbreaker for Angola. And it was the one that gave them the cushion. And you can see the shooting numbers, not great from the 3-point line. That means there's a lot of rebounds. But the only numbers that matter as far as Morocco are concerned are the 2 at the top. Morocco 60, Angola 53. A massive result for them. And they are celebrating on the court. And they're getting their pictures taken and everything. And well, they might, because that has probably booked them a spot next week. And Angola have work still to do. And really, it was a funny old game. Neither team really got in their rhythm at all. And the first quarter, only 18 points scored. But down the stretch, they picked it up. And really the quarter that mattered, the second and the 4th, were the ones that Morocco won. They got 20 of their points, so a third of their offense in the last 10 minutes. And that was enough to see off Angola.
And really, that was just, as we're looking at some of these highlights here, some great finishes in transition from Angola near that 3rd and 4th quarter, but it just really wasn't enough. And like you said, it looked like for a moment there that Angola had gone on their run. They were up by 6 at one point, but then Morocco hanging tough. Angola kind of freezing up a little bit, and there's a huge shot there. And that shot right there by Maksoud, it's not just the one shot that he had in the 4th quarter later on, but that shot right there when Angola was on their run kept them in it. It kept them in it, kept them within 3 points. And from that point forward, it just looked like Morocco was the team that was a little bit more confident offensively. And Angola, once again, just didn't have a response for it until really the very end, when they were just trying to force something to happen. And as oddly enough as it has been, but through 2 games, this does not necessarily look like the Angola that most of Africa knows and loves. But at this point, it doesn't matter. Morocco, they've earned this victory, and they've earned the they've earned the saying that they are 2-0 right now.
Yeah, and they've earned a spot into next week, because I've just had a quick look at the updated table. Morocco 2-0, but because Angola play Central African Republic, only one of them can get to 2 wins. So even if Morocco loses their last game, it's going to be 2 teams that go through 2-1. It's going to be a relatively straightforward one, I think, for us tomorrow, because it'll become a straight shootout between Angola and the Central African Republic.
Well, the fans are going to be crazy.
Well, it's going to be. It's going to be a great occasion on that one. And Morocco are definitely going to go to Tunisia next week, because they've already got 2 wins on the board. The only question is whether they finish first or second, but that's for another day. We don't need to worry about that now, because they've done the job they set out to do.
There's Najah, as Maksud will be the hero, but Najah, when these teams were struggling offensively, him and Reggie Moore were really the guys that were consistently getting these teams going, and it was Najah setting the pace, knocking down the first 6 of 12 points for Morocco, keeping them close with Angola the whole way through in that first quarter. And despite the fact,
the shot, though.
There's Maksud, and that was the dagger. Unbelievable effort here from Morocco. And both teams fought hard, but as you said, the one that landed the knockout blow in the run is the one that ended up being able to say they're moving on.
Yeah, Morocco win and Morocco advance. A great fourth quarter by them to win the game.